What is the cringiest thing you have done to get a crush's attention? My crush was a kid who lived down the block from my house. I stole his dog from his yard and then went to his front door to return it and get to talk to him. He said he saw me take him out of the yard. I avoided him after that. Back when I was in middle school I had a crush on this girl. I was into writing at the time, so I put her in a fantasy story I wrote where she was a warrior. She hated it and told everybody and showed them the copy I gave her. This did not help my bullying. I still die from thinking about the cringe. Become a writer, get your script adapted into a HBO series, win best adapted screenplay, call her out in your acceptance speech, mic drop. GRRM secret plan is working out. Once I was 14, I accidentally sent a picture of me in a super fancy dress to my crush because I wanted him to ask me to the dance. OMG, I fell into my closet, the dress fell on me, the phone hit the ground, took a picture, sent it you, and boom, I'm sorry. In my mind, I went to oh I just sent this to the wrong person, sorry, I like your version more. 9th grade, last day before Christmas break, there was a girl on the school bus who was once into me earlier in the year, but had now cooled off for some reason. I needed to get the fire going again. So I was going to bring Miss Leto on the bus, pull it out of my backpack at some point, and be like, oh yeah, this stuff grows everywhere. I was just picking some of it this morning, while I was waiting for the bus, and that's all. What I was hoping for was that she would get the nerve to kiss me, since I was holding Miss Leto. Well, Miss Leto grows high up in the tree. HMM. So I cut off a piece of holly and trimmed the thorns off of it, because who really knows what Miss Leto looks like anyway. So I'm sitting on the bus, she's sitting behind me, and I'm working up the nerve. Then the bus stops, this guy gets on, and immediately proceeds to give this girl a rose, and she gets excited and hugs him, and I'm sitting there with a trimmed holly branch in my backpack. This one is not so bad, because only you knew of your holly branched shame. But now we know. Put an entire pack of bubblegum in my mouth, and tried to chew it, ended up drooling on myself. She left the lunch table. Duck. That hurt to type. I bet that was hard to swallow. Rimshot. I used to pole dance on a lamppost outside a boy's house when I was 13. I have several questions. When I was about 15 or 16 years old, I went on a family holiday with my mum and sister to Italy. We were staying in a hotel with a shared swimming pool, and there were a few other families with kids of similar ages all hanging around. I used to see this girl, roughly my age or maybe a couple of years older, pretty much every day by the pool. Blonde hair, nice body, just basically gorgeous. I think because she smiled at me a couple of times I convinced myself that she must be the one, and due to boredom, this was before smartphones / the internet, I spent basically the whole week gearing myself up to go and talk to her. I spent days just thinking of ways I could approach her, what to say, building up courage. It was the most important thing in my life at that moment, but was difficult because she was always around her family, or I was around mine. There never seemed to be an opening. Then, right at the end of the holiday, the perfect moment presented itself. I was by the pool, alone. She was by the pool, alone. This was my time. This was everything. It all comes down to this moment. So what's it going to be? Am I going to be a man and approach her? Or spend the rest of my life in turmoil wondering what might have been? So I walked up to her. I smile. She smiles. I say hello. She looks confused. I say hello again. She still looks confused. Hi. Nope. That didn't work either. This is going horribly. Why did I do this? Please let me be hit by a sniper right now. Why is there never a sniper? I asked her if she wanted a drink, because, of course, if she can't understand a basic hello in English then a full sentence was definitely the best way to proceed, and she looked even more confused. I think during this whole exchange, which felt like 2 hours, but was in reality only about 26 seconds, she had only said the word A, with a mixture of bewilderment and pity. So, I walked to the bar, bought 2 lemonades, I wasn't old enough to buy anything a little more suave, and walked back over to her. I mean, I'm invested at this point, right? No point in backing out now, otherwise I would have just made a total fool out of myself for absolutely no reason. I place her lemonade down next to her. She says thanks. So she did speak English, the ducking liar, and I swagger away feeling like James Bond. Until I dropped my glass, which smashed into tiny pieces, most of which went into the pool, which then had to be evacuated while the staff cleaned glass out of it. And I got told off by the lifeguard right in front of her and her family, who had since returned and were all staring at me. Hit me up if you need advice on how to approach the ladies, fellas. In elementary, I went to school with a couple dudes that were very gymnastically inclined. They would do a double backflip off the swings instead of just one. They would do flips off the monkey bars, standing backflips, wall flips, you name it. The girls loved them. They would sit and be an audience for these guys every lunch almost. I got jealous. I practiced on my trampoline for a few days, tried some handsprings, which I got pretty good at, forwards not backwards. Then the next time they were showing off, I joined them. Boom, guy #1 comes running through, handspring, cartwheel, backflip, backflip. Guy #2 comes bolting behind him, cartwheel into aerial, into backflip. Here I come, cartwheel, into back handspring. Oh wait, I don't know how to do one backwards. Land on my neck, wind myself, start crying. Elementary kids doing double backflips off the swings? Did you go to circus school? Only a couple kids were. They were in gymnastics. One of them ended up being a BMX biker at the X Games. Post dumb stories, just to see if she viewed. Oh wait, it tells you who watches them? My own tale of cringe. I had a crush on a guy who I had 2 classes with. It made sense in my 15-year-old brain that intense eye contact would signal to him that I was all in. Every time we had to talk about something, I stared directly into his eyes without blinking. Also, I read that people like large eyes, but I couldn't do makeup since mascara makes your eyes look larger, so I would make my eyes as wide as I could. This also meant that if I was talking to another boy, I should look away as much as possible, so he didn't think I was into them instead. So the guys in the class thought I was really standoffish, and I'm sure he thought I wanted to murder him. Sorry, Jack. I knew someone who tried the exact same thing. It was so freaking creepy. Thank you for confirming my fears. Everyone remembers. Leaned over in English class every day and copied his handwriting until ours matched. I had this theory that if our handwriting looked the same, he would fall in love with me, but he turned out to be mean, and I wound up with pretty handwriting. He noticed and made terrible fun of me in front of his friends on one of the last days of school, grade 7, and I was crushed. Oh, Caleb, you were so handsome in your Monster Energy hat. How could you? If our handwriting looked the same, he would fall in love with me. You were so handsome in your Monster Energy hat. This is the funniest one to me. Back in high school, I had an absolutely massive crush on a boy in my English lit class. Let's call him Jim. So, what did I do? Did I initiate a conversation to ask if he wanted to go to a movie with me? Of course not. That would require rational thought, which my hormonal, romantically starved brain was completely incapable of. Instead, I decided to write Jimmer, get ready for this, Harry Potter fanfic. In the story, I was smack in the face, obviously, Ginny, and he was Harry. Yes, really. I actually handed him this masterpiece of literature in class with a quick, "Here, this is for you," blushing a nice deep shade of red. I realized my mistake almost immediately, but short of yanking it out of his grasp, and I was really considering it, it was too late to do anything. After that, I made it my mission at school to avoid seeing him as much as possible. There was no eye contact and definitely no conversation. There is a happy ending to this story though. I actually started dating Jim a year after high school. We have been married for 9 years now. He still has the story. Whenever he wants to tease me, he will bring it out and read it. I still turn a beautiful shade of tomato red, just like I did 14 years ago. I confessed to her that I liked her friend, so she would help me get with her. I did it so I could spend more private time with my actual crush. Worked like a charm. 14-year-old me was a genius. Plot twist, she agreed to help you so that she could spend more alone time with you. That's what you call a double bamboozle. Got any similar examples? Leave it in the comments below.